Alright, here we are. It's a bit weird, eh? It's like a kid's bag there.
What the f***?
Dude, it's about to fully light up.
I didn't even know that was a thing. How does that even happen? This place, I'm leaving.
This isn't showing on the apps, guys. Doesn't mean we're looking at aliens up there.
There's a chilling terror hidden in remote camping encounters where help is miles away. Tonight, brace yourself for an explorer hunted by an aggressive dog pack and a solo diver trapped with a massive great white shark. Could you handle this living nightmare? On July 14, 2026, Volted uploaded a nighttime exploration filmed around the city from abandoned railway lines to an empty parking garage downtown. His YouTube channel follows many electric bike rides, forgotten locations, and unexpected encounters. Joined by his friend Noe Volted, expected quiet roads and unused buildings. At first you might expect the same. But as the night continued, each location revealed another warning that these places were not as empty as they appeared.
Alright, so we figured out where the first hopefully goated spot. It's an abandoned bank. So I guess it's like back here, because look, you can like cross this bridge thing. It should be back here. Was this like a missile silo? We might have to ditch the bikes. We might have to ditch the bikes and start walking. I'm not lost, bro. Oh my gosh, hold on, let me log in. Where are we? This is like so weird. Yo, it's like a railroad track. Wait, come on. Wait, hey, turn the bikes around just in case we gotta hurry up and dip. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's time to whip out the light. Oh, now we really, well, I'm gonna turn on the brightness. That's the lowest it goes. So should we walk that way? Bro, where are we? Whoa. Yo, it's a big, wait, I wanna go over there, but that fucking dog. Yo, 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 it's our fleet. Yo, it's a whole ass fleet. Yo, look. Do you see him in the video? Yo, that was a pack.
Volted prepared his Crunch X1 Spark with a flashlight, a power bank, protective gear, and a CO2-powered airsoft gun. After using the Abandoned World app to find locations, he met Noe and began riding toward downtown. Their first destination was listed as an abandoned bank. To reach it, they crossed a bridge and followed an old railway line surrounded by thick, dark brush. The ground became rough, and the path ahead looked increasingly unsafe. After checking the area with a flashlight, both riders decided to turn around and search for somewhere else. That decision led them toward an industrial area where barking suddenly broke the silence.
I'm gonna go to where those dogs are gatekeeping, but I'm gonna just zoom. I gotta figure out a way how I'm gonna do it though. I'm in mode 3. I'm approaching this with infinite speed. I think it's this road. Yeah, it is this road. Look, it's right there. Let me turn off my lights maybe. Oh, they got scared. Oh, I'm great. No, hey! No! I'm great. Oh, I'm great. Alright, I'm going through here. Wait, let me get the gun. Let me grab the gun. Is this the, oh, please, God. Please let this be the railroad. I think it is. Oh, shit. Okay. Should I keep going down here? I'm actually stupid. Oh my gosh. I think we're okay.
A large dog threw itself against a fence trying to reach them. Noe decided the situation was too dangerous and left. Volted, however, returned alone and switched his bike to mode 3, preparing to pass the area at full speed. The fence did not hold them for long. Around 15 dogs found a way through and began chasing Volted. The pack closed in behind his bike as he crossed uneven grass toward the railway tracks. He tried to maintain control while keeping the airsoft gun ready in case the dogs reached him. After a tense escape, he finally put enough distance between himself and the pack.
Alright, we're on the way to the next place after almost getting jumped by like a billion dogs. But having like, okay, bro, I'm not even joking, I had to at least be like 15 dogs, bro. Like literally just running it. Oh, actually, I think I'm going the wrong way. 15 dogs just running at me, bro. Oh my gosh, Rod. Here's the next place. It is I don't know if it's any cool or not, but it's a abandoned It's like an abandoned parking garage. As you can see, there's not a soul here. Oh, what am I getting myself into? Oh no, oh no. Look, it's abandoned. Oh, what is in there? Hello? I think people live here. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Hold on, what's over there? Hold up. I'm actually crazy for like... Oh, hell no. Oh no, no. Hold on. I'm about to explore on foot. This is the scariest one of the bunch. Hold on, let me get my protector. This is definitely the scariest one of the night. Most definitely. There's definitely people. I think I might run into people. I seen like, it was like Starbucks cups. It was like Starbucks cups and food, and there was flies and everything. I might have to embark the rest of this on foot. I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to. You know what? No, I'm gonna go up there. I gotta have that shit ready. But I'm gonna like hurry. Okay, this is probably the safest spot. Okay, I don't know if you could tell. There's a staircase over there. And then let's go explore a little bit more. Let me grab the flashlight. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not recording the best right now, but I'm freaked the frick out. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not doing the best of recording. This is like dead ass scary. But the fact that I'm alone does not make this any better. And I can tell, I think I'm running over a glass and no, I don't even want to go back down here. This is the worst part. All right.
Instead of ending the trip, Volted continued downtown and found a multi-level parking garage that appeared completely abandoned. Its empty floors and repeating concrete spaces made it feel isolated. Then he noticed a Starbucks cup leftover food trash and flies near the entrance. The items looked recent enough to suggest that someone had been there not long before him. With the airsoft gun in hand, he rode farther into the structure. Dim red lighting covered parts of the upper levels, while every turn revealed more empty concrete and dark corners. The building looked deserted, but the fresh belongings below made the silence harder to trust.
No, this is bad. What? I feel like I'm in the back rooms right now. What's that over there? I want to go explore this, but I'm too scared. All right, I'm gonna keep my gun, my flashlight in the same hand, or in the same thing. I would leave this on, but I don't know if I should leave it on or not. Okay, here we go. I have it ready, just in case. Hello? Hello? What is this? What the fuck is this? Oh no. Yeah, someone was definitely living here at some point. So it seems like just a lot of stuff. Yeah. Hello? It's a bathroom. It's another bathroom. Someone was definitely living here, or maybe is still living here. Yeah, there's definitely someone still living here. No shot, it's a fucking spider. Oh no, no. Yeah, alright. This is where I end the video. This is where I end my part. This is where I leave, still keeping it tucked just in case. You never know. Yep, alright.
Volted eventually left his bike and entered a row of interior rooms. He carried a flashlight in one hand and the airsoft gun in the other. Clothing, a sleeping mattress, and personal belongings were scattered across the floor. Inside the restroom, he found more signs that the area was still being used. The garage was abandoned as a business, but it appeared to have become someone's shelter. Then a spider and an unexplained sound startled him. With no idea whether anyone was nearby, Volted rushed back to his bike and immediately left the building. The exploration ended before he discovered who the belongings belonged to. Fresh food bedding and personal belongings strongly suggest recent human activity. Concrete garages also produce confusing echoes, so if you found these signs, it would be difficult to tell where another person was hiding. Was the occupant already gone or quietly waiting nearby? Would you have continued exploring? On June 15, 2025, YouTuber Harbor Explorer recorded one of his most unsettling forest experiences. What made the encounter disturbing was not only what he discovered, but also the tragic event that had taken place in the same area years earlier. Harbor Explorer was visiting Bindari National Park with his friend Shiro. His channel is not normally focused on frightening or paranormal content. Most of his videos show calm journeys through scenic and peaceful locations, and this trip appeared to begin in exactly the same way.
Bring a knife. There's a few fairly decent sized bloody dog prints there. Decent sized animal. Not too concerned about it, but that's why I always carry a knife anyway. Just in case.
They're all cut.
Yeah, someone comes here, eh? Why would you cut those?
They've used them to make something. Because they'd be long and skinny.
As the two friends continued farther into the forest, they noticed what appeared to be large animal tracks along the ground. The footprints caught their attention, but they had no idea that something much more troubling was waiting deeper along the trail.
Alright, here we are. It's a bit weird, eh? It's like a kid's bag there. It's a hiking pack. Part of a chair. I can't believe it's still standing. Yeah, so who knows how long this thing's been here. I mean, the body of the fella was found, I think 2009. So if it is his, I'm not good at maths, what's that, 15 years or so ago? Surely it can't still be standing. We're gonna have a look around and see what we can find. What is it?
Data manufacturer, 2000, 28th of the 3rd, 2007.
Yeah, right. Bloody hell. So it could be that old, eh? Oh, that's a pair of track pants.
What's wrong with
I can't see. Lift the bag up. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a bloody small line under there.
It's all orange paint inside it. Bright orange paint. Is that a travel tag? Is there a name on it? Oh, it's a coke wrapper. Is it?
Don't know.
What brand bag is it?
Nothing in it, eh?
Check that brand and then see the photo. So check the photo. And then I'll make it.
Samoa 85. 85 litre.
Press it on.
Let's just pat it all away.
A short time later, they discovered an old tent that had been abandoned among the trees. The material was torn, damaged, and badly worn after being exposed to the forest for years. The discovery became far more disturbing when they considered the history of the area. Around 15 years earlier, a man had been found dead only a few hundred feet from that location. His body had reportedly been discovered in a horrific condition. Several pieces of trash and other objects found around the tent appeared old enough to date back to before 2010. This raised the possibility that the abandoned shelter may have belonged to the same man. The location, the apparent age of the items, and the nearby deaths seemed to connect in an unsettling way. The thought that they might be standing inside the dead man's former campsite was disturbing enough. However, just as the two friends prepared to leave, they heard an unexplained sound coming from somewhere in the distance. The noise made them increasingly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's creepy in here, eh? I don't know, it's just got a weird feeling. I don't know, you probably would have heard on the video just then there was like a horn noise. It was only sounded man-made and it was only 100 metres or so away, so it's pretty much the way we're heading down this waterfall. Yeah, it's pretty bloody eerie if this was the actual tent of the torso that was found.
Instead of continuing deeper into the area, Harbor Explorer and Shiro decided to end the trip and return to their vehicle. The abandoned tent, the nearby location of the body, and the estimated age of the objects create a disturbing coincidence. Fabric left outdoors usually weakens through moisture and exposure, so its condition may suggest age, but it cannot prove who owned it. Do you believe they discovered the dead man's campsite, Or was the location only an eerie coincidence? Share what you think happened, then check out the next video on screen. On March 11, 2026, the Junkyard Fox Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel uploaded a disturbing stealth camping video. In the footage, James entered an abandoned construction site containing empty tunnels and temporary camps used by homeless residents. He had already attempted to camp at the location twice without success. On his third visit, James returned to the same lot and searched for a private dry area where he could remain unnoticed. Eventually, he discovered a quiet corner and began setting up for the night. Everything appeared calm at first. However, only minutes after sitting down to eat, an unexpected visitor approached his campsite.
Someone's coming.
Yo, what's up?
Hello?
Thank you for the light.
What's up? You can stay right there. You can stay right there.
What's it? Okay.
All right. Just what's up, brother?
You have some shit?
No, I don't have. I'm just staying here the night, and that's it.
Alright. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
You too.
Well, that was pretty stressful. So I had just finished eating my noodles. I had turned off the lights, and then I was putting away the gas stove, and I could hear a sound like a backpack being dragged. He must have seen the lights when I was eating like an idiot with the lights on, but he approached me. I tried to be as polite as possible, but make sure he knows, to get away. Now I don't feel comfortable where I'm at because at least one person knows I'm here, so.
The stranger spoke with James, but the encounter remained calm. There was no direct threat or confrontation, and the man eventually walked away. Even so, the conversation left James with a serious concern. His campsite was no longer hidden, and at least one person now knew exactly where he planned to spend the night. In an isolated place like this, the situation could become unpredictable after dark. Rather than waiting to see what might happen, James quickly packed his equipment and left the construction site. He later located another campsite where he was able to spend the night. In stealth camping, once another person knows the exact location, the risk can change quickly, even without an immediate threat, leaving reduced uncertainty. Would you have stayed after that encounter, or moved before nightfall? Would you believe a tree could answer a child? What would you think if it responded only after being called on May 12, 2013? A strange and unsettling video was uploaded to YouTube by a user named Montgometron. The footage was recorded at Eber Gorge, a natural park in Somerset, England. The uploader was taking a peaceful walk through the park with his two young children, Daisy and Declan. Nothing appeared unusual at first, and the family seemed to be enjoying a normal day outdoors. Then something unexpected caught their attention.
Right, Daisy and Deacon, make the noise, see if the tree will talk to you. Shh. Did you hear that? Right, say it again, see if it'll talk to you again. Right, shh. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think it's a tree herder.
It's a tree herder.
Yeah.
It did. Do it again.
It did.
Go on, make a noise. Say hello.
I think it's tree beer.
Say hello in tree language. Right, shh. He said hello back. Amazing.
As the children made a high-pitched squeaking noise, a similar sound appeared to come from the surrounding trees. Each time Daisy repeated what the family jokingly described as a call to the trees, another noise seemed to answer her. At first, the sound could easily be explained as wind moving through the branches or an echo traveling through the forest. However, what made the footage unsettling was the timing. The strange response appeared only after the girl made the sound. Viewers suggested everything from thirsty trees to possible awareness. More likely, branches rubbing or shifting wood created the sound, with echoes making the timing seem intentional. Still, why did it respond only after the girl called? On July 3, 2025, YouTuber Michigan Rips uploaded a video that left viewers with more questions than answers. Michigan is a dirt bike creator who normally records his rides and stunts for a small but dedicated audience. During this particular trip, he was riding through a dense forest near Ryerson Road in the far northern region of Michigan. What began as another quiet dirt biking journey soon took an unsettling turn.
What?
You ran into a truck at all?
Nope.
Explorer?
Nope.
If you do, can you I don't know, possibly turn around and try to find me? I'm gonna be taking this trip.
Okay.
I really do. I've been looking for 2 days.
Okay. You're almost out to the road if you follow this trail.
Really?
Yep.
Without warning, a man stopped him and asked whether he had seen a truck somewhere in the woods. The stranger appeared confused and disoriented, almost as though he might have been under the influence of something. He told Michigan that he had spent 2 days searching the area. Later in the video, Michigan discovered an old, heavily damaged truck hidden among the trees. It seemed possible that the vehicle belonged to the same man. However, the footage never explained what had happened to the truck or why the stranger had been wandering through the remote forest for days without shoes and apparently alone. Viewers found the encounter deeply unsettling. Exhaustion or dehydration may explain the man's confusion, but why had he been wandering barefoot and alone for 2 days? What do you think happened? On July 27, 2025, the Deep Down Spearfishing YouTube channel uploaded a deeply unsettling video. The footage shows a spearfisher named Dean alone in the water just off the coast of Miss Point. At first, the dive appeared almost perfect. The water was clear, the conditions were good, and there was no visible danger nearby. Dean began placing pieces of salmon into the water, hoping to attract snapper from below. Instead, the bait drew the attention of something far more dangerous.
My salmon has been in my cray bag for an hour and a half at this stage. I'll often put rubbish and fishing line in this netted bag to remove it from the water after my dive. I also put my catch in it as it deters the sharks from taxing my fish. While I'm on the surface preparing for another dive, the SharkSmart app picks up a tagged female great white within my proximity, but I am completely unaware that she is to the right, observing my every movement. I don't know why she made that sudden approach, but it felt like a test, like she was sizing me up. Thankfully she veers off. If I swim away, I know she'll pick up on my fear and I won't be able to guard and protect my legs. So I decide my best option is to hold my ground and try and appear like I'm a threat. After a few close passes, she seems to lose interest in sizing me up and shifts her attention to the salmon instead. I briefly consider removing the salmon from the fish bag, but I quickly decide that hand feeding a great white a dead smelly fish with my bare hands while I'm unarmed isn't a risk I'm willing to take. I swim toward her, spear gun extended. I'm doing my best to look like a threat, hoping it's enough to make her think twice before deciding I'm worth the risk. She shows no sign of being fazed by me at all. I decide to duck dive and meet her on her level, swimming head on in a strong attempt to warn her off. It's at that point that she veers broadside, and for the first time I see the full scale of her size. I try to stop my hands from trembling to mask the fear as I push my spear gun out towards her. I'm praying that someone sees me and called for help, but at the same time I know there's nothing anyone can do. I drop my head back underwater, and that's when I see her coming straight towards me. I drive the spear into her nose, but it's like hitting a wall of muscle. The force completely flexes the spear and it almost derails from my gun. The scariest part is that she's barely concerned, and that's when reality sets in. This spear gun isn't stopping her. I don't want to wait to see what she decides to do next, so I start making a quiet and slow retreat towards the shore. I'm watching her closely to see her change in behaviour while I switch from fight to flight mode. The milky water swallows her from my view, and suddenly I've lost her.
Dean's SharkSmart app suddenly issued an alert that a female great white shark was nearby. Within moments, the animal appeared and began circling him, while gradually closing the distance. Knowing he could not outrun the shark in open water, Dean held his position with his spear gun raised. He used it as a barrier while trying to discourage the animal from coming any closer. For several tense moments, the shark repeatedly returned and appeared to examine him. Eventually, it lost interest and vanished into deeper water. Dean successfully reached the shore. Later, he admitted that several mistakes during the dive had placed him in serious danger. Had the shark fully committed to even one of its approaches, the encounter could easily have ended very differently. Great whites often investigate unfamiliar objects by circling and making close passes instead of attacking immediately. Still, Dean was alone and carrying bait. Would you have held your ground or tried to retreat sooner? What would you think if a silent object crossed the sky faster than any aircraft nearby? Would you call it a UFO, or suspect something more ordinary was being hidden? On March 25, 2024, the Skywatch Explorer YouTube channel published a strange piece of footage. In the video, creator Mick traveled to the Haslingden Moors in the United Kingdom with his Cyan X night vision camera, hoping to record unexplained activity in the night sky. After darkness fell, he walked alone across the isolated moorland. As usual, Mick set up his equipment and began scanning the sky above an area known for unexplained sightings. Only a few minutes later, he noticed something genuinely difficult to identify.
Just noticed something very bright there. Very bright, not flashing. The op on this one, but it is bright. It's not the ISS. Where's it gone? There it is. There's no satellite showing, so interesting. Every so often you get something interesting like that. This isn't showing on the ops, guys. Doesn't mean we're looking at aliens up there. There's a lot of things don't show on the ops, secret military craft and tech.
A bright object suddenly moved across the sky at a speed unlike any aircraft Mick had previously observed. It produced no sound and displayed none of the flashing lights normally associated with a plane. Mick immediately checked several flight and satellite tracking applications, but none showed an object passing through the area. The light then disappeared behind a cloud. Based on its direction, it should have become visible again seconds later. Instead, it never returned. Mick could not identify the object. It may have been a UFO, an unlisted military aircraft, or something else. Tracking apps do not show everything, but its silence and sudden disappearance remain unexplained. What do you think he captured? The footage was uploaded to the Search for Supernatural YouTube channel on July 24, 2025. What began as a routine investigation inside an abandoned hospital quickly became disturbing. The atmosphere changed when a loud bang echoed through the empty corridors below. Moments later, the team heard slow, deliberate footsteps moving through the darkness.
Dude, we are completely dark right now.
Yeah.
What?
I heard a bang down there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Did you hear that?
I just heard footsteps down there. One of the ways there was footsteps.
No person was visible, but the sound seemed to be getting closer. The hospital then became even more unsettling when the lights began activating without explanation. Flickers spread along the hallway until the entire corridor suddenly lit up. Beyond the illuminated area, the darkness no longer felt empty, and the unseen movement appeared to continue toward them.
Sure.
It wasn't.
Oh, gee, what the f***, man? What the f***?
Dude, it's about to fully light up. What did you see?
Dude, I heard those. Bro, that's fully lighting up.
The investigators moved deeper into the building and stopped near a window. After calling into the silence, they heard an unfamiliar sound answer from beyond the glass, as though something hidden had noticed their presence.
Is that you down there?
Can you fully light that device up? Grab that silver rod, or... What was that?
Farther inside, the atmosphere grew heavier. The team already considered the hospital one of the most disturbing places they had explored. Then a clear female voice drifted through the empty halls, but no one could identify its source. Staying close together, they continued forward until another unexplained noise broke the silence.
Whoa! Whoa!
I heard that.
Whoa!
Did you hear that noise?
I just heard a f***ing girl's voice.
Yeah. I think it said help.
Bro, cut that. Cut that off.
Dude, that was clear.
That final sound left them convinced that something might have been following their movements, bringing the investigation to an uneasy end. Long corridors, empty rooms, and loose pipes can distort ordinary sounds. However, the unexplained lights and clear female voice remain difficult to dismiss. What do you think was inside the hospital? Would you spend a night alone inside an abandoned quarry cave? Could you remain there after the place began affecting both your nerves and equipment? On June 17th, 2026, a frightening video appeared on the Katie Rome's YouTube channel. In the footage, Katie traveled to a disused slate quarry in England's Lake District, planning to spend her first night alone inside a cave. Katie was already comfortable camping by herself in remote locations, so the idea did not initially seem intimidating. She explored the abandoned quarry before choosing a small cave where she could settle for the night. However, everything began to feel different as darkness arrived.
I'm really battling with my nerves right now. I don't know, there's something weird about this cave. So eerie. I've got absolutely no signal, and I don't think that's helping either. I have got my SOS device, my Garmin. I don't know why I feel like this. I was having such an amazing time out there. I don't know, there's something really off about this place. I don't know if it's all the drawings on the walls, like they're kind of creepy as well. Okay. My gut is not liking this place, and I usually have quite a good gut. I think I'm gonna make some dinner. Obviously, food helps, and then hopefully I start to feel better and we can settle in for the night.
Katie became increasingly disturbed by the cave's unnatural silence. Strange markings and unsettling paintings covered parts of the walls, making the enclosed space feel even more threatening.
My stove is soaked as well. What on earth is going on? My stove literally isn't lighting. My light has stopped working. This was on 100% like 5 minutes ago, and now it's stopped working completely. My stove isn't lighting, even with a lighter. I mean, this isn't right. Okay, we're gonna give it one more go. It's literally not lighting. Like, it's lighting, but it's not lighting. There's gas coming out, it's just not holding a flame. What? I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm leaving. This place is not doing anything. This place is telling me to get out.
Her discomfort soon became much worse when her equipment began failing. Her headlamp suddenly stopped working, even though it had recently been fully charged. Then her camping stove repeatedly failed to maintain a flame. Each new problem weakened her confidence and strengthened the feeling that she should not remain there. Rather than ignoring her instincts, Katie packed her belongings and left the cave before the situation could become more serious. Moisture and low cave temperatures can weaken batteries and interfere with camping equipment, possibly explaining the failures. Still, several problems happened almost together. What would you have done in Katie's position? The footage was uploaded to the Exploring the Unknown YouTube channel on March 28, 2026. The team had barely entered the abandoned structure when the silence around them began to feel unusually heavy. Buildings like this can seem as though they are holding on to something that should have disappeared long ago. Then, an unclear sound came from somewhere nearby. They could not identify its source, but it seemed impossibly close.
Anyone here with us? Thomas, if you're here, we got 2 newcomers. I really appreciate if you could put on a little bit of a show, just like you did with my friend Ben.
The investigation continued inside a 165-year-old house. Its basement felt less like a forgotten part of the property and more like a warning. A crawl space dating back to the original 1860 construction still remained beneath the house, hidden in an oppressive silence. As the group moved deeper, the atmosphere seemed to grow heavier. Something shifted in the darkness. It was not a recognizable voice, but the movement sounded controlled and close, almost as though the house had become aware of their presence.
House is 165 years old. This basement
It was built in 1860.
was once a crawl space.
Really?
The original crawl space is still here.
We believe it was all just crawl space.
I got a duck wall in here.
I know, I do too at some parts.
The investigators began asking questions, but the basement offered no immediate response. They waited for 15 minutes, hoping to capture a sound movement or any sign that something remained inside. Then the silence suddenly broke. An unnatural pause followed, and someone felt what seemed like something brushing past nearby. Whatever caused it remained hidden close enough to sense, but impossible to see. A final sound then returned from the darkness closer than before. This time it seemed to form a single chilling demand that echoed through the basement. What do you think was inside the basement? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.